Hey everyone, Sean here, and we made it through 2024. Today, hey everyone, Sean here, and we're already reaching to that end. We're right at that cusp, right? The light at the end of the tunnel is very much visible at this point, and we're just we're right there. We're right into the end, and it definitely sometimes feels like time is taking forever, especially if you're working, and then next thing you know, we're already here, right? Like right at the end. 2024 over. Where did the time go? Man. But in case this comes out before or after um Christmas or the holidays, hope everyone had a happy holidays, and of course, Merry Christmas. When it comes to this year, well, first off, this is gonna be a long video, so just a forewarning, right? I can go on and stuff like that, so this might be something for the background noise or whatever. But anyway, um, 2024 has been definitely had its ups and downs. The downs weren't too bad, but most of them were thankfully work related, and those have been kind of stomped out at work. So we're good on that for the most part. And, those sort of mistakes can be circumvented, is one way to put it. And we should be pretty much like, it should be smooth sailing at work. For those people who don't know already, I mean, I've been working at FedEx for about a year and a half, and man, I guess we can start off with that for this year. You know, we've had managers go in and out, right? We've had different managers come in and go, and even ones that I thought would stay a lot longer um, are gone. They're pretty much in a different division completely. So I'm not sure if I will see them ever again, unfortunately. But for the new managers that have come in, they're still pretty cool. So that I can't ask for more. you know, I'm pretty grateful for that. I guess that's one way to put it. Um, that has been, kind of been a little frequent, but now seems like it has been stabilized. But there was that situation that happened at work that involved with a lot of the managers at that particular facility I worked at, and most of them are gone, if not all of them, right? For both unfortunate and sort of for the best. I don't want to go into it too much, but yeah, it's pretty serious if you want to dive deep into that stuff. But it does involve with well, let's just say it's kind of common at warehouses. I'm just gonna put it like that, and you kind of piece it together from there. So that happened, and so like the whole management just kind of been just it's been rocked, and so the workflow and such like that was very much all over the place at one point, and it was just a mess. I was doing like multiple things, and it was just nah. So we pretty much like refined a lot of the areas in terms of workflow, and I'm pretty much doing one thing, and I'm surprisingly somehow I've been the lead of that area in that particular area, um, which is I guess something, but I literally do not know how I got myself into that sort of position. And it's not like I get like more pay or anything like that. I'm like the same pay rate as anyone else, or at least most people. I'm not a manager or anything. So if I was a manager, then yeah, okay, that's kind of nice. But man, I don't, man, I'm not ready to deal with people. I'll put it that way. I am not ready for that kind of stuff. But um, while that was leveling out ish, um, the next solution was to, of course, hire more people, right? And that was happening. And then there were some characters that came in, um, along with like people who have become and shown themselves to be good workers or potentially great workers and such like that. But then you have, of course, you'll always have those new people that come in, and you'll find out like who they really are, and like just show their true colors and act just not great. Let's put it that way. And basically, it was making things a little harder than it should have. Like there, of course, I'm not gonna name anybody, but there was some people. Let's just say that were just absolutely untrainable, and of course, there's gonna be all walks, people of all walks of life, right? And so that was happening, and I was kind of having to deal with that, and then thankfully the managers were just really cool and were able to step in and help everyone out pretty much, not just me, with that sort of issue, and thankfully that uh, those particular people have um, gone to something else. So that was just, oh, thank God. And it was funny because it was like kind of like relatively right before the holiday rush, and man, um, that was something. This holiday rush this year was just unbelievable. Like last year, it makes last year like a breeze. Last year I thought was like, all right, it was pretty busy, but this time I was like, man, it was a lot of stuff to process and scan, and it's just bonkers, and we're trying to like get all the high priority stuff much as possible into the trucks and just get them to LAX and whatever. It was crazy, man. And at some point, um, usually I stay around till like 8:30 or 9 or something like that, and then like just I had to stay till like 10 at some point. It was crazy, but thankfully the managers were able to come up with a solution, although it was relatively simple. And one of the managers, funny enough, kind of been like beating themselves up for not doing it like sooner, but from going forward, it should be a lot smoother than it was, or than it should have been, I guess. But nonetheless, it was implemented just very recently, and on top of all the other processes and all that, and that's been that was very successful. So we'll have that permanent, and pretty much going forward should be a lot smoother, just in time, right? For me to go make plans to go watch Sonic 3, because I really want to go watch that movie. So hopefully by the time this comes out, I've already seen it or on my way to go see it. And so yeah, so to wrap up the work stuff, it was a kind of like a ride in a way, because it had its ups kind of and then downs more, but then kind of up and then down again, and then now it's starting to go up. So I think we should be well on our way to be pretty Gucci, right? Especially we got through the prime holiday rush, and so by next week, as of this recording, should be okay. So that's something for me to look forward to. Just like relax, just even at work, I can like just take a breather, right? Like along with everyone else. It's man, I'm getting again like this holiday rush was crazy. It was a mess, you know. A lot of packages, a lot of people. More. It seems like more people have been just buying stuff. It's weird. You would think it would be like the same ish last year too, but no, this was like nah. Last year too, like um, I mean, yeah, it had some stuff, but yeah, no, it was nothing. This was just it was nuts. So, but we got through it. We're in one piece, so it should go well from here on out, hopefully. But overall, the work itself is easy. It's fine. It's just kind of like the humans, right, involved. That was of course making it harder than it actually should be. So it's yeah. There were a lot of changes too. I've got to say along the way. When it comes to like um, the financials, right? So the budgets were cut, corners have been cut, so that kind of like upset a lot of people, and a number of people left, unfortunately, and so including people I kind of know, right? Acquainted a little more, unfortunately, those people left. Some people have come back, surprisingly. So it was something, and then I think one person is going to retire pretty soon, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah. Anyway, that was that. So hopefully again it'll be smooth sailing. But yeah. Um, when it comes to now, we can go forward with Sonic 3. I definitely want to go see Sonic 3. I've been hearing good things, like universally just good things about it, which is great. I'm very much looking forward to the movie. I want to go see it, and I've been continuing to do what I've been doing this year, which is to go watch on a weekday or weeknight after work, after I go eat, and then go to the theater uh, to the last showing and on a weekday. So that's like the least amount of people. But this being winter break, probably doesn't even matter. But nonetheless, though, I would prefer to see it after work. Kind of weird, I know, but it's been like a lot better for me because I have less people to see in the theater. So that's kind of like my strat for going forward when it comes to watching movies, including of course Sonic 3. I think this year I watched what was it? I know I watched some movies. I'm like forgetting already, but um anyway, that's pretty much the gist of that. And so hopefully Sonic 3 will be a great showing, and I see the things I want to see for Sonic 3, including a lot of the game references, blah blah blah, and there was one little spoiler that I figured would happen, involving with some soundtracks and stuff like that. But yeah, anyway, so um, hopefully by the time this comes out, I'm in the theater or going to the theater or set to go to the theater. Out of those three things, hopefully. Now, the next thing I wanted to talk about was gaming, and this is kind of like this is where it gets a little interesting for those people who have been sticking around for this channel for a longer time and still somehow manage to show up here. Hope maybe not. It is what it is. This channel was very active at one point, and viewership has changed. Things have changed on YouTube, and then it has become definitely different. Let's put it that way. And kind of, I made do with what I had, right? you know Again, this channel used to be very much about the co-op and stuff like that, with friends, couch co-op and play party games and stuff like that on this channel. But life happens, right? We become more and more of adults, and we're all past 30, so well past 30, and which is just kind of painful to say, but it is what it is. That's life. we all have our lives. We're trying to get by day. Unfortunately, I have not seen them. I don't think I've really seen them. I think the last time I've seen somebody or one of them was for the Attack on Titan ending, the finale, right, for the anime. That's really much it, right on top of my head. And then when it comes to family, of course, though, that was Thanksgiving. So I went and go Thanksgiving dinner with my sister and her boyfriend, and then we visited my uncle, my cousins, uh, and then my uncle's brother, and then my cousins, like um, boyfriend, girlfriends, stuff like that. It was a good time. A lot of talking for sure, and a lot of food for sure. A lot of pie, more specifically. But it was fun. I had a good time. I had a lot of food. I was well fed, and my uncle can make a good turkey. It's just like nice, it's moist. The white meat is moist. He knows how to brine the turkey and everything. It was great. So that was good. And yeah. So when it comes to that part, but anyway, sorry, tangent. Um, we're talking about what this channel used to be and then gaming and stuff like that. So where I was trying to actually lead to, right? Yes, this channel used to be gaming and stuff like that, and then the gaming stuff for this channel has become more and more all about the gotcha, right? And that's kind of like the climate of these days, right? A lot of these games have implemented these live service tactics just to like micro manage and micro transact people to just buy these little things frequently, right? You know, like all the big games do it nowadays. It's just like it has seeped across the sea. Whereas in the past, right, it used to be in its own little bubble, but then Genshin came out and it just like boom, like that bubble burst and it just like spilled all over the sea, much like a oil tanker, right, and just pretty much has seeped into a lot more things than before. Overwatch was definitely like kind of like that first step for that loot box gotcha kind of stuff, but then Genshin really like took it to the next level. And I still play Genshin to this very day, and this channel does, you know, cater towards that, especially at some point too, because I was doing like the tier list um, and the tier list stuff was like, I stand by what I said in the past, right? Because I think most characters are still good. It's just of course, there are some characters that do everything, right? And Novelet, for example, he just blasts everything in front of his face. But anyway, so point being though, this channel has become just Genshin, Star Rail, and ZZZ most recently. ZZZ came out this year, and I've had my feelings about that game. But for the most part, it had potential. It had a lot of potential. The first impressions were kind of rough because of the TV system and the combat being very simplistic. But of course, with more characters and the fixes that were very unexpectedly good, or it's like I didn't think they would go after those fixes very quickly, right? In that fashion, unlike Genshin, somewhat Star Rail, but then you have ZZZ being like the perfect like sort of the next it's like the next level because um it's got the real time action gameplay, combat gameplay, but the sort of more of those philosophies of Star Rail, right? Where they actually do the changes for Star Rail and they actually did the changes for ZZZ. Whereas Genshin's like, yeah, it has these changes too, but there's like just still changes that need to be done, but they still have not done them. Um, Especially with the overcharge system, right? They really need to do that at this point. It's like, come on, why is this one the one that has not gotten the overcharge system with the energy and everything, or the stamina, I should say. Stuff like that. right? There's obviously more changes that should be coming or should have for Genshin, but nowhere to be found. Still, but ZZZ has really become, I'd say, the gotcha game from Hoyo. I would say if you're going to dive into one of these games, um, within the three, I would say it's ZZZ. ZZZ is pretty much like it's the most stylish. The the fixes and implementations make it a lot better. The story is now, you know, tolerable to go through at least. Um, the gameplay, it has its ups and downs, but for most people, they're not gonna care. So, I say go for it. I say go for ZZZ if you had to pick one. Right, that's my opinion about that. I'll probably make a separate video about that to talk about more of ZZZ. But yeah, ZZZ is I think where it's at. Whereas Genshin is still like it's still like yeah probably the most popular one because yeah obviously it was the first of the three of the modern three anyway. I know there's Honkai Impact Third obviously, but no one really talks about that in comparison to these three right now. Unless Star Rail comes up and then of course the references, right? So that is essentially what this channel has focused on for the most part. And I wanted to sort of state the state reasons as to why, right? Um, because well, one, they're free to play, so obviously. But across most gaming, it's pretty much like I don't know, like there's like these like specific reasons I can't really go into ish, just because I can't explain well. But one of them is just like I don't know. I've been feeling very jaded for over the years. Like me getting older has made me feel a lot more jaded when it comes to gaming. And the live service stuff is just like one thing, but there's just other things. Just kind of I don't know. I've kind of grown old over, and um, overall, I think gaming is a little stale right now. I obviously there are diamonds in the rough, like Final Fantasy Rebirth and stuff like that. And gaming next year looks a little bit more exciting. It's got Monster Hunter Wilds coming up um, and all that great stuff. But it's oh yeah, and then people are of course, Nintendo's gonna come out with the next successor for the console, Switch 2 or whatever the hell is gonna be called. Um, it pretty much has to be bearing the Switch name because I think there's been talk about backwards compatibility with the Switch. So it has to have the Switch name of sorts. It could be like, I don't know, it could be the Swap or the Shift or the, I don't know, something. But anyways, 2025 point being will be pretty interesting, I think. And maybe they'll like get me back into a little more slowly. But for right now, especially this year, I've been just like very indifferent in comparison to before, and also jaded over the years. Especially when COVID hit, there was that big burst of gaming because everyone was doing it. Everyone was in their house, and we had to quarantine, and you know, but things are kind of going back to how they were, one way or the other. So yeah, and then of course, just these games, the corporate stuff, just the culture, right? And like these echo chambers, and just people and money, just a lot of things, a lot of layers, right? Just make things a little harder for me to enjoy gaming nowadays. But there are specific reasons why I just cannot finish certain games. Like Final Fantasy, right? I just cannot finish it because I just get distracted by everything else. There's just so much there still is so much shit to consume, and there still is more shit to consume, and it's gonna go on and on and on. So I I definitely cannot see myself finishing Final Fantasy Rebirth um, this year. Maybe like January, but I keep saying that for each month, and I just don't do it. So don't hold me up to that. No guarantees. A lot of the things I used to do are just like on the shelf or not done at all, right? I used to do like the top 10 games, right? Because I used to play a lot of games, especially when I was younger. And um, I had 2023 ready, but then it's just like, I got distracted. My mindset was somewhere else, especially when I was working, right? It just like rocked everything, you know. Back in 2023. So it's I mean, it is what it is. Life is continuing to change, continuing to shift. So that's where I'm at with gaming in general. It's just I just been playing, just literally been playing three games actively, and it's just the Hoyo games, which is Genshin Impact, Star Rail, and a ZZZ. That is pretty much it. And then I did play a little like 8 hours of Marvel Rivals, and it's good. Like I mean, if you want something Overwatch-ish, but with Marvel characters, there you go. It's so shamelessly Overwatch. It's so funny, but hey, if you love Marvel characters, there you go. It's literally Overwatch with Marvel characters. The balancing can be a question. You know, people talk about Jeff and blah blah blah, whoever, right? But oh yeah, Iron Fist is scary, whatever, right? But it is what it is. It's an Overwatch clone, but the battle pass is good because there's no FOMO or very little FOMO at that. Um, but yeah, you know, it is what it is. But I'm definitely going to see myself going to Fortnite. I was playing a lot of Fortnite at one point. I think it was this year or last year. And then it was so weird because me going back to Fortnite was really weird. I used to play Fortnite a little bit early on, like I think it was like chapter two or chapter three, four, whatever. But um, the weirdest reason of why I came back, it was because of Cell. Perfect Cell from Dragon Ball Z was in the store. I was like, you know what? I guess that's an excuse for me to play Fortnite. So I've been playing it with friends, and it was something. And then now there is another reason for me to come back for sure, because I haven't been playing Fortnite for a little bit. But and it's a certain big G, and that is Godzilla. Absolute madness that the big G is coming. Now it is MonsterVerse Godzilla, but it is Godzilla nonetheless. So it is some, it is something. So once he actually comes out, I will get on it. It's an event, so I can't miss out. That's like FOMO 101. But um, so yeah, it's just been these games, these like live service games, you know, that are meant to be live service. But when it comes to like the AAA games with live service sort of sprinkled in there or like just heavily implemented in there, that's where it gets kind of rough for me, and that's why I've been feeling jaded. Obviously, not everything is live service, right? Like Final Fantasy Rebirth, but that's like different reasons as to why I'm not playing it, right? Like I already mentioned, you know, I've been getting distracted and stuff. I've been watching, stuff, including like a Dragon Yakuza, which was a massive disappointment. Uh, what was another one? I think Godzilla Kong came out this year, right? I hope I'm not getting that mixed up. Um, with the pink Godzilla and everything. I think that came out this year. But yeah, what else did I go watch? Oh yeah, I finally watched Has Been the Hotel, and that's been pretty cool. I like the character designs and such like that, and the universe and everything. Pretty neat for what it is. It's it's silly. It's a fun little time. I like the aesthetics of it overall. I like those sort of kind of character designs. Just over the top, very silly. It doesn't take itself too seriously. You know, even like the most serious parts, it just kind of have this like silliness to it. So it is what it is. Same with a Hell of a Boss. I've watched the very most recent episode, and so season two is concluded. More to come, so that's cool. I definitely am looking forward to hopefully more Hasman Hotel on Amazon, and then Hell of a Boss. But yeah, I've been enjoying that. I've been enjoying that stuff, and it's got me thinking too. Like all this other stuff too, has been really wanting me to go back into drawing, and so I'm kind of like been juggling around some ideas as to how I can do it or when I can do it, and maybe um I can kind of like honestly cut my streaming stuff to help me focus on that. Cause there's just times where I'm just like too tired. I'm just I just can't do it, you know. Although I think Genshin at times does a really good job putting me to sleep. I get heavy eyes, man. My eyes go heavy on those games. Star Rail sometimes, ZZZ the least, of course. But Genshin, man, I don't know. Something about Genshin, it just hypnotizes me to go to sleep or something, man. It's hard. It's hard at times. On top of the fact that yes, I come home tired, but whenever stuff is cool, like I'm awake. You know, I'm not falling asleep. If I have stuff to do, that's keeping me awake. You know, but yeah, it's just I don't know. Like I don't see myself streaming and seeing the value out of it because everyone else is streaming and my numbers are it is what it is. It's low. It's fine, right? You know, like a lot of people, and the lucky few are going to reap those benefits or numbers or whatever. It is what it is. So I'm not too upset over it. There's no point, you know. Again, it is what it is. So rather than putting that time into trying to stream and trying to hope to see more than 10 people watch my stream, I'm just gonna honestly do what, you know, gets me more happy, which is to draw. But, I always have this like the streamers guilt or the content creators guilt. It's like, oh, I can use that time to stream this or make content out of this. Everything has to be content. And sometimes that mindset can be pretty unhealthy, you know? And I just wind up not doing it altogether because it's like, oh, if I'm not gonna record it or if I'm not gonna stream it, then why do it or something like it's such a weird mentality, but that's what happens. At some point, it got really bad with Tales of Vesperia because that was the game. I was like, okay, if I'm gonna play this game, I'm gonna stream. But when I don't feel like streaming, I'm not playing the game. That happened, and I was late to finish it. So that was kind of like a big case of that, and I do not want to ever repeat that mistake ever again. And it's kind of happening again though with ZZZ and all the other Hoyo games. It's like I don't play the story until I stream it because I just think like, well, if, I want to show off my reaction to the internet and stuff like that, but you know, it just gets lost. There's a lot of people doing it, algorithm stuff, you know. Most likely, I'm not gonna pull the numbers, and it's kind of a waste of time. I hate to put it like that and sound pessimistic on that, but it is what it is. So I'm really trying to get myself to do the things that actually, for sure, make me happy. So hopefully next year, this is one of my resolutions, I guess you could say, is to draw more because that actually, gets me hyped up in some ways. I like to edit too. It's just I've been doing that a lot, and been doing a lot less of drawing. So I'm hoping to balance out the two, and maybe just probably not even stream at all. You know, unless I just have a lot of time, and then yeah, okay, right. When it's wide open, then I'll go for the shot, which is streaming. But and that could be more of a thing, possibly. Um, one little silver lining because I've been trying to streamline the Hypecast. I've been trying to make some changes for the sake of both myself and my co-host Zoardo. We've been doing the Hypecast for a very very long time. Starting back in 2015. Myself and Zawa have been like pretty much the most consistent hosts for that podcast. And it's funny, we've been doing that virtual podcast sort of format for a lot of people in a way. And we didn't even like think about that. We just kind of do it because that's the only way for us to come together, right? We used to do that back in Skype and of course Discord, and then COVID hit, and then a lot more people have been doing that, and so it's kind of funny. And unfortunately, we don't really we didn't like we didn't get rewarded for that. So it's like it definitely is that saying, right? Like it's not about being first; it's just about you know a lot of other things, including luck, right? And we drew the short end of the stick, unfortunately. You know, just because you're first doesn't mean right. Like it is not gonna really mean anything. It's a lot more things, and I guess we're like missing those things and don't pull in the numbers as much, if at all. But the thing is that I like doing it. I like the process. I like me talking to my friend about these things. I actually like doing it, so that's why. Right. We've been doing it on a very constant basis. But I'm thinking of pulling back on it once again. We used to do it weekly, and I think we did it bi-weekly, especially when you had a lot of people to work with. And then at some point, a lot of people left because they wanted to do their own thing. That's fine, you know. I'm all for that. No judgment or nothing like that. No, you know, abrasions or anything like that. No drama, nothing. We were cool with it, right? Um, but unfortunately, the Hypecast was an idea from both myself and somebody I used to hang out with, but unfortunately, I don't talk to that person anymore. I don't know why it happened like that, but um, I hate to say it again. It is what it is. Life, right? Um, but anyway, so now it's just me and Zuardo. Two people. It used to be a lot more people, but now it's downsized to two. But what I really wanted to get at is that we're trying to pull back on it. So instead of weekly, we're gonna do it like okay, so it's probably gonna be for each month 3 episodes. We're gonna take a break once at least, and then if we have a dry week, don't do it at all, right? Because it's like there are a lot of things I should be doing, you know, but yeah, because the podcasts take a lot of time because we talk a lot. Because a lot of those times can go from like as short as an hour and a half to a lot of times 3 hours. That's like the average, it feels like. at average. It is a 3 hour recording session, and a lot of things are missed out. You know, at least for me anyway. I'm not speaking for Zawardo, but we talked about it, and we're gonna try to implement it this coming year, which is 2025, to see how it goes. And I'll remind him too, because we're gonna try to do one more episode right at the end of this year to kind of like wrap up things. Um, and yeah, so we're gonna try to implement that change for next year, and hopefully it'll be a little better. Like it'll be meeting the middle ground. Because doing it bi-weekly is a little too much of a gap, but there are times where you know um, I would like to just take a breather and then come back, right? So that's why I would like to have one break per month instead of two, technically. And then of course, if one of us has to step out and do something, family stuff or friends, stuff like that, then that's like top priority. This is just for fun, nothing of the sort when it comes to like trying to be relevant or whatever it is. We just do it purely for fun. It's purely for a hobby. I mean, the numbers were nice at one point, but there are a lot of podcasts as well as a lot of YouTube videos. There's a lot of things on the internet. That's just the nature of the beast. And we're like amongst those, the common folk, right? The commonwealth, I guess you could say, if that makes sense. Yeah. So that's the hopefully next year that change will be working out, right? We might take even two breaks, right, per month, because hey, I mean there might be a dry week, nothing to talk about. So if we're gonna talk about it, I'd rather have a little more to talk about with, right? So that's why I don't want to like go out my way to and pull his time either, just to talk about this one thing, right? Unless it's like the one special thing. If it's like really important to talk about, like Evo and like fighting games and E3, or no, not E3, so, excuse me, Summer Games Fest, then okay, right? If it's like a really big drop of news, like, oh, Nintendo dropped the new console name or fucking release date or whatever, blah, blah, blah stuff, then yeah, we'll come together. I'll have us try to come together, but um, other than that, though, I think that change will be a little more, favorable, right? Point being. So expect that for those who actually follow the Hypecast and stuff like that. I know it's like the least popular thing on the channel, but I love doing it overall. Still, I like doing it. I don't mind the process. The only thing that kind of irks me um, is just like trying to upload to YouTube and also trying to upload the audio um, around the same time. And sometimes I forget to do the audio portion and winding up being behind on the audio podcast. The video podcast is always consistent. It's always weekly and stuff like that. That's no problem. The audio is like, yeah, you would think it's like a simple thing, but when you try to do it on a consistent basis on top of what you do for hobby and like just work and um, you know, all the necessities and stuff like that, then it really adds up, you know. And that is why I'm trying to cut back on certain things for next year. I'm trying to trim the fat more and more. And of course, some things are holding me back. Like, oh, but maybe I could work out um, this time, but no. Um, for the most part, I'm not gonna be a popular streamer. I'm not. Our podcast is not gonna be popular. So, and yeah, you could say I'm doing the streaming just for the fun of it, but like a lot of things, there are a lot of other things for me to do for the fun of it. So I don't know. It's something for me to juggle around, but I think the Hivecast implementation for the change will be for sure nice because whenever it made me realize that whenever we take these breaks, like when Zawa goes out with his friends or whatever, or I have some plans, something else, right, to do. Um, like it actually feels nice for me to breathe at times. But it's weird because it's like, yeah, maybe talking about this one thing is cool. It's just like it just butts heads in my thoughts, if that makes sense. It just clashes in my head. And that's what gives me that sort of metaphorical headache. But either way, there will be a change one way or the other for the Hypecast. So we'll do it a little less frequently. So likely 3 episodes a month. So we're gonna cut back on it a little bit. So I'm trying to trim the fat here and keep the meat of my sort of process and my hobbies and interests and the things I like to do. Lastly, um, of course, though, the big change that has been, I'm sure, noticeable to some people is the car detailing. That's been just the predominant thing in my life right now. Because again, I mentioned gaming has been pretty stale. But then car detailing, it's like it's always very interesting. It's been an interesting ride, right? Of me getting all this stuff and just like the output of it is very satisfying to see. It's very one to one on the feedback, if that makes sense. It's like I buy something and it actually does something, right? Whereas game is like it's I don't know. The satisfaction is just like very very mixed because they could be bad games that are just really bad. And there are bad games that are just funny to laugh at, but then yeah, like it's just but even like the good games has those things, right? The live service, the FOMO, the micromanagement, the microtransactions, it's just ugh. But for car detailing, that's something like a lot of people need in a way because everyone drives a car, right? A lot of people there are more people who drive cars than game, I think. I mean, there are more gamers today, but I feel like there's still a lot more people driving, especially in America, right? Um, and so whenever I do the car detailing videos too, that pulls in like more likely to pull in like over 100 views, like at least, if not 1,000, and that's like that instant feedback feeling I get along with just actually trying out the products, like the rinseless washing, the pressure washer, the satisfaction I get with cleaning my own car, and my family's cars. It's just you know the fact that I've been washing cars. I like to wash cars like back then. I used to do it on a more active basis too when I was a kid. Um, but then it was just a hassle at one point, and then I wanted to focus on gaming because it was fun back then, right? College happened, and then my friends, the we have fun stuff was like taking up my time. But now that I'm not really doing that anymore, it's like back to detailing. It all makes sense now, right? On the top of the fact that gaming is been stale as fuck to me, right? But it is what it is. I've been saying that a lot of times, I know, but that's just what it is. So, so yeah, detailing has been taking over, right? My garage is it's filled with so much more stuff of car washing relevance, right? It's relating to car washing. It's just So much of that stuff, more than ever. And I've been like, um, I've been venturing out to other things too. Like, of course, in the process of car detailing, I've been like cleaning out the garage more. I put shelves in there and looking a little cleaner day by day or week by week. The shed has been cleaned out. I have in the backyard a flat griddle, electric stainless steel griddle. Because I like watched internet videos of like people doing smash burgers and stuff. But I'm like, I don't know. It just clicked in my head. I'm like, I kind of want to do that, and I did it once, and yeah, it was good for the most part. And I could do it better and better if I keep doing it, right? But yeah, and then I use I made like Philly cheesesteaks on that griddle. I'm gonna be using that more um, when the winter passes by. I've done it like a couple times in winter, and boy, it is something else. But I'm getting it down, and yeah, a lot of different things have been kind of like taking up my interest. And then now, very recently, I've been starting to meal prep more stuff. Like I'm trying to take in more protein as I still work out. I try to work out still whenever I can. And of course, I want to make sure I get enough protein. But just I don't know. I just like to eat at times. But if I'm going to eat, I want to be healthy as possible. Well, protein emphasis, but yeah. And then now I bought myself kind of like a Christmas present, quote unquote, for myself. And I bought the Ninja Creamy, which is basically an ice cream machine. And I already like did the preparation for the ice cream. So tomorrow, as I record this, I'm gonna have hopefully a pretty decent thing of ice cream. So it will be a beginning of a healthy ice cream kind of um, journey, I guess you could say. Like I love ice cream. For those who don't know, I'm an ice cream guy. Like of all the desserts, I love ice cream. I'm not a connoisseur, but I just like ice cream. You know, fuck doesn't matter if I know what things taste like. I just like to eat ice cream. But man, it is a fucking guilty pleasure. So that's why I really wanted to try this out to see if this is something for me to um to see if I can make these healthy ice creams on the basic constant basis. That way, not only I'm taking in protein, but you know, um, I can like basically just get my ice cream cravings, but also yeah, like taking more protein and stuff like that. So I mean, even all that protein talk, but I don't expect myself to get any more big because I think my metabolism is like a little too high. But whatever. I'm still gonna keep doing it. I'm still gonna work out. I've been doing it before. Um, and yeah, you know. So a lot of like things for me to that I've been buying a lot of stuff. Let's put it that way. On top of games and the gotcha stuff, right? Man. But it's all thanks to work. I still, of course, pay my bills, pay my taxes, all that stuff. But then, for the leftovers, whatever's left over, I just put that into cart detailing or put that into food, protein stuff, and then whatever the fuck else. So that is that pretty much. Um, Personally, for me, emotional wise, all that stuff, I can't complain too much overall. I've been pretty good. I've had my ups and downs this year, especially from work. I'm just like, there are times I just come home. I'm like, my God, especially when I'm in the shower. I just like replay the things in my thoughts. Just replay like what happened today. I'm like, why did it happen like this? Or I wish it did, I wish I was able to do this instead, like that kind of stuff, you know. Shower thoughts, right? Um, but for the most part, I'm feeling good at best. I know I haven't felt any depression like that too much at least. I just feel tired a lot of times. Early this year, like right at January of this year, I got sick. Luckily it wasn't any COVID related stuff. It was just the cold. But man, it kind of whooped my butt a little bit. But then, I think it was when was it exactly? I was like, was it like September, October-ish? Um, I was noticing something a little weird. When I was like peeing a lot more constantly. But then, I went to the doctor. And thanks to my work place having offering healthcare, right? That was, that was like my first time actually using healthcare in my life, but you know, it's I can see why now, if not before, why healthcare should be accessible as fuck. But anyway, we need we need a better healthcare system, man. Come on. Anyway, so my urinary tract stuff. I thought I was having a UTI again. I'm like, oh my God, like I've had it once before, like when I was in high school, and it was horrible. It was not great. It was not fun. I thought I was having it again. I'm like, oh man, all right, I gotta go to the doctor, get this checked out, whatever. So I got my physical, not my physical, my checkup for the very first time in like years, right? I haven't gone to the doctor in years, not counting the physical I took before I started working for FedEx. But yeah, so that happened. But then my stuff came back like healthy. Like I'm always not negative for anything weird. So I think the only thing I can conclude, and my mom told me about this, is that I had some sort of weird coldish kind of thing, um, which was starting to be something I believe more and more because I had some sort of weird body aches, but everywhere else was fine. Like, but my body was aching. I was peeing constantly or frequently, not constantly, yeah, more frequent year peeing, which was it was very weird, and then just randomly went away. After like what a couple weeks. So I just kind of like bared with it. I drank a lot of water and stuff like that, and that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, and I had cranberry pills and stuff like that. So so that was weird. That was very strange, but that happened. Anyway, that was the only like other significant thing that happened in terms of health. So yeah, I gotta go to the dentist next because yeah, I've been very lazy on that, but I gotta do that soonish. I need to make an appointment, and then I gotta like beat myself up for to update my COVID shot. So yeah, the only other thing too I guess to talk about, hey, I voted. I'm gonna go vote. I mailed in my vote. That's pretty much it. um, yep. That's really all I have to share. But for next year, a little hint before I actually end the video because it's been an hour. Um, I am planning to go to Evo. I hope to go to Evo. I've been so like afraid about the whole COVID thing, and just it really still like makes it hard for me to just go out willy-nilly like I used to do in like high school or college. But ever since COVID happened, and especially with my dad passing away due to COVID, I mean that was kind of like the final nail in the final nail, if you will, or the final straw. I was just an absolute, I would say virus phobic, right? Germophobic, okay, you could say that, but virus like COVID phobic, right? If that's a word for it. And I just get social anxiety up the ass. I was so afraid of crowds without a mask and everything. It was horrible. Like it's just it's hard to deal with that stuff, especially when my dad passed away. You know, having to deal with that stuff for a long while has been very, very tough. And of course, seeing people like go out and having a fun time and stuff like that, you know, it adds up over time. And I think though more and more time passes on, it's been looking pretty good. I don't know. I mean, I've been definitely seeing less and less um pictures of people showing off their COVID test, and it's like, oh, I got COVID, you know, whatever. But but at one point that's all I saw on my feed. It's just, oh, I got COVID, I got COVID, I got COVID, I got COVID. Oh, I tested for COVID, but I'm negative. But that added up to my anxiety, man. So I did not want to go out. I did not go to people's parties. I just wanted to stay home. Um, I did not wanted to go to the theater at one point either for like a long time. It's just, but that aside, the point being, I think I'm more and more becoming. I'm trying to get more and more ready. Like I'm trying to like get myself motivated to go to Evo, back to it, and just go for it, man. Because you know, at some point you just gotta just do it, right? Fear, you gotta just let the fear go and just do it. Because you only have one life, and you know, I don't want to miss out anymore. So there comes a point, and I'm like at that. I think I'm at that point. I'm like, okay, if I get sick, you know, whatever, you know. Um, I should just not be worried. It's also like, what added to that too, that back to the fear thing, is like the guilt of catching COVID and then passing on to people close to me, especially my family. I don't want anyone in my family to get COVID because of course my dad got COVID and he passed away. So that really like that was in my head for a very long time. So that's why I was like just like, oh man, fuck conventions, fuck this, fuck that, you know. Whenever I went to work, I just went, I masked the fuck up, right? You know, um, when I worked started working at FedEx, I wore a mask all the time, like the entire time, right? Of course, when I drink water or like you know eat or something, then I take it off, or when I have to like do something, I take it off. But um, so at one point, people did not know what I look like because I had a mask all the time. But I've been like you know less vigilant or whatever about that, but less cautious. I still have it on wearing during like the prime part of work, but once it like slows down, if we have some breathing room or whatever, then I take it off. But today, although today when I went to the grocery store, I put on my mask, you know. But the fact that I still went to the store, bought my things, and then you know that's what counts, right? I'll only wear my mask in like big fucking crowds. But you know when I'm like relaxing or whatever, you know, then it'll come off at some point. So um, but yeah, I think during the convention, I'll have it on most of the time. It's like a transition, right? Like, okay, I'll go and then have my mask most of the time, and then maybe I'll go again the following year, less masking, and then maybe the year after that, no mask at all. I don't know. We'll see. But if it's like hot, sweaty, crowded, I'm masking. I don't wanna breathe in that air. Absolutely not. Even if, yeah, like even if the mask, it's like a security blanket in a way. So, all right, the video has gone super long, but it is what it is. I haven't done these channel updates for a long time, so I have a lot to just spill. Right. That's the whole point of these videos. So please don't go commenting like, oh, this video is fucking too long or whatever. I don't care about that. That's another thing too. Like I gotta stop caring about like certain things anymore in my life. You know, I'm gonna do my thing, and that's what I'm gonna do. you know, we all got one life, so let's just do it. So hopefully next year I go to Evo, take my vacation, right? Two week vacation, go to Evo for 1 week, come back, take the rest of the week, and isolate myself, and hopefully I don't get sick. You know, pray to God I don't, but it is what it is. I want to see my peeps, man. I gotta go see my gaming friends, my online friends. Gotta get back into it at some point. So 2025, hopefully that'll be the year. Hopefully something won't come up and be like, making me fear again and stuff like that. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, for the most part, it's more on yes, but there's also the possibility of me not, for some reason, not getting enough vacation hours or whatever, then may not work out. Probably I won't do it. But um, if I'm not gonna go to Evo, it's more on reasons of not enough vacation hours somehow. That and more or less on the whole fear thing of getting sick and society and crowds and stuff like that. So, all right, that's it for me. Big old 1 year of thoughts dumped into here into 1 hour. I say that's pretty good, right? Anyways, hope you guys found this anything in this video entertaining, interesting, or anything like that. If you have any thoughts about what happened for you for 2024, hey man, spill it here. That's all about. That's what it's all about. You know, we're here for that. I'll read those in the comment section below. You know, um, I can sympathize, I can empathize. All that stuff. I'm cool with that. But anyways, leave it down below, and thank you very much. And here's to the end of 2024. Hope you guys' 2024 was good, and hopefully the rest. Hope you guys have or had a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, and of course, a Happy New Year. So hopefully 2025, man, will be better. I know 2024 was a little rough when it comes to the voice actors and celebrities and stuff like that. People passing away, because that this year, Toriyama Sensei passed away, and that was a big one. That was a huge one, right? That was like probably the biggest one, honestly. Understandably so, right? Anyway, let's put that aside. Let's have a good year, a good rest of the year, and then moving on forward. Um, Hopefully we have a good 2025. But of course, be ready for any of the bumps on the road. So, eyes sharp, guys. Anyways, thank you very much. Take care, and hopefully I see you in the next year and in the next one. Sean out.